everything goes back to someone I dated. So I dated someone who was from Uzbekistani, but they also spoke Russian. So I know several Russian words. Now, the word for yes in Russian is da.
Da.
Da, right. And then the word for no in Russian is niet.
Yes.
If you're around Russian people and you're from New York, if you're around Russian people or Russian-speaking people, you'll notice they say niet 10 times for every time they say da. Everything is niet, 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 and then once in a while they say da. Have you noticed that?
Oh, no, but now that you've mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, that's accurate.
En español, ¿ok? Y te quería saber cuáles son tus favoritos bandas de México. ¿Me puede empezar así? Just kidding. I had a whole back and forth with your PR lady. It was such a funny exchange. I wonder if she's listening.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, oh, Ashley's not as fluent. Can you like send the and I'm like, in Spanish, we'll do the interview in English. And she goes, yeah, no, but she's just not fluent. And I'm like, you mean like in answering questions? I was getting confused. And then I promised her that I would start off the interview with like heavy Spanish.
Oh, perfect. Set me up really well.
How you doing?
I was like, okay, I can do this. I got it. It's like reading
I
your
saw
lips.
you were...
I know. Okay.
Wait, I thought you were like, wait a minute, hold on. I thought we weren't gonna do it. It's, oh, wait a minute, hold on, I'm not recording my end. Oh yeah. All right, Ashley Reyes, you're on Checkitow. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So you're on this new show. Well, it's not a new show. It's the third season, right, of American Gods.
Yeah.
But it's your first season on American Gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a pretty heavy show, man.
I would, to say the least, yeah.
Yeah, tell me a little. So for people that haven't seen the show, tell us a little bit about the show, and then we can get into your character.
Okay, so the show is it's a road show, so it's a guy going across country. Just so happens that the guy is the god of war, and as we find out in season 2, he's trying to recruit his son to team up with him to recruit the old gods, so old Norse gods, of gods of every different culture, to fight against the new gods of technology trying to take over humanity. And that's about it. So it's like a dysfunctional family roadshow with a lot of explosions, and it's exciting and it's sexy and it's a cool show.
I mean, I imagine like the set is like a major film production, right? Because it looks like a movie.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, my first day on set, I was not expecting it. I thought it was just going to be like a very simple scene. And I step out of the car and there are cranes overhead and helicopters flying around trying to get different shots. It's humongous.
Now, were you guys able to shoot before the whole COVID shutdown happened last year?
Yeah, so we stopped filming like 4 days before the world ended. So I was in Toronto, and they brought me back on March 17th.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
just as everything was happening, we were able to finish up everything, and luckily.
And so tell us about your role, Cordelia, right?
Mm-hmm. So I play the assistant to the god of war, so the lead character, Mr. Wednesday. I play his driver in his car that kind of changes form throughout the show. So in one episode, it'll be a car. In another episode, it'll be a Volkswagen. And it's just, it's a magical car.
It's not a transformer though, right?
No,
okay.
I wish, but no. So I play the driver of that car, and I also play a hacker. So I have a lot of tech lingo, and I hack people's phones and their bank accounts and stuff like that. Do
you know about VPNs?
Oh yeah, I have one.
You do? Look, what, after doing the role? Don't tell me that you started doing the role, you started learning about these things, and you're like, all right. After the shoot, you're like, okay, let's see how I get a VPN on my phone. Is that what happened?
Exactly. Oh, my dog is trying to get in. This is my dog, Scout.
Scout?
Yeah.
What a good dog. He's like, who's that, mommy? I got to make sure he's fine. Is he okay?
I know. She's like getting very protective. Yeah, so I was doing research. I listened to a podcast about VPNs, and I was like, why doesn't everyone have one? So I downloaded a VPN. I'm all protected. No one can get any of my stuff.
Very, very cool. I gotta, last night, like my phone just all of a sudden it's like, it detects Instagram is using the camera. I'm not using Instagram, by the way. I'm like, oh God, who's spying on me now?
Yeah, someone trying to look at you while you're on the couch.
I have the air of an international spy because I don't have the air of an international spy. So maybe people are just trying to be safe and follow me around. Tell me about yourself. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in New York on Long Island. In like a commuter town.
You don't refer to it as Strong Island, right? You're not one of those people.
I'm not. I apologize to anyone who might be listening from Long Island, but I do not refer to it as Strong Island.
Oh my God, or I actually dated early in my life someone, because I'm from Miami. There's a lot of New Yorkers that go down to Broward, Miami-Dade. My ex-girlfriend, she was Italian, so they would say Long Island. They would pronounce the G at the end, Long Island.
Long Island. That's where I'm from. I'm a solid Long Islander.
What's your nationality? Like, where's your family from?
My dad's from Puerto Rico, and my mom is Lithuanian.
Whoa! Hence the ethnic ambiguity.
I am the brand face of ethnic ambiguity.
That's amazing. Okay, so you need to learn 2 languages then, right? Maybe 3, right? Because you need to learn Spanish. Okay. You tried. I saw your face. You were like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna work with what I got. We'll see what happens. I think he said something about music in Mexico. Okay. So you gotta do the Spanish, and then Lithuanian. They used to be Soviet, so they speak Russian, but do they also speak Lithuanian? Is there Lithuanian? Yeah. Do you know any of that?
Yeah. So my family spoke both Lithuanian and I think they spoke Polish. But no, I don't speak that either. I do speak a bit of Hebrew because I went to Hebrew school growing up. Yeah. So yeah.
Are you Jewish?
All over the place. Yeah, I am. I've got a fedora in the background.
Oh, nice. Now, is that from both sides or from the Lithuanian side?
That's from the Lithuanian side, and then my dad actually converted when I was about to be bar mitzvahed.
Okay, so is your dad a fan of Geraldo Rivera, since Geraldo Rivera is also a Puerto Rican Jewish guy?
I have no idea.
Okay. Do you know who Geraldo Rivera is?
I don't.
He was one of the first like major Latino journalists back in the 70s and 80s. He's still around, but Geraldo, tell your dad, do you know who Geraldo is? He'll know, and then I think you actually might have seen him before. Well, okay, so I'm Russian. Do you know any Russian words?
Nostrovia.
Nostrovia. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So everything goes back to someone I dated. So I dated someone who was Uzbekistani, but they also spoke Russian. So I know several Russian words. Now, the word for yes in Russian is da.
Da.
Right. And then the word for no in Russian is niet.
Yes.
If you're around Russian people and you're from New York, if you're around Russian people or Russian-speaking people, you'll notice they say niet 10 times for every time they say da. Everything is niet, 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 and then once in a while they say da. Have you noticed that?
Oh, no, but now that you've mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, that's accurate.
Oh man. All right, so you got some Rosetta Stone stuff to do, because you can play different roles. Talk to me about, well, first of all, before we get into some more of the stuff that you do, how do you feel about the world right now? I actually have positive feelings. I feel the last bits of negative energy are being exhausted. And then what's to come, especially once we get the vaccine rolling and COVID kind of under control later this year, I feel that the country's going to maybe come together on certain levels and everybody's going to be like, ah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. Obviously, I spent the past few days kind of a bit of a mess, and it's hard to think about anything else right now. But I kind of keep telling myself, there's this saying, when I do my little bike workouts, one of the instructors always says, like, what doesn't challenge you doesn't change you.
Right.
And I feel like last year, in the past few days especially, have been challenging and devastating and troubling,
right,
which gives me hope that we can all change from it, and that this year will be a year of great change and reckoning and reconciliation. So I'm hopeful. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I think the reckoning is happening now. Hopefully the reconciliation is what happens later this year, just in time for summer, maybe, all of us kind of like exhale. But I was telling I'm coming into the office and it's mostly Latinos here, so we all feel a certain way. And I told one of the people that works here, I'm like, don't you feel the negative energy like coming up? Because I'm a very spiritual person, so I feel the negative energy starting to lift. Because I always said that the country will come together after Trump. I was just afraid it might be 4 years from now, because he might have gotten reelected, but now it's 12 days away. So I'm just like, seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm trying to get everybody here optimistic and happy, but everybody's like, until it's done, until like it's official, and this guy went this way and this guy went, they're just like apprehensive about it. Is there, you feel a little apprehensiveness too until it's finally like?
Completely. I feel like the next few weeks, I might not have any fingernails left by the end of it, but I'm hoping that in the next few weeks, everything will settle and we can move on. And it's not the start of something else. That's my prayer.
Oh God. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah. We got to watch out for that. I'll pray. So wait, so do you pray? Are you a spiritual person? Like what are you?
Yeah, I definitely consider myself a spiritual person. I'm still a practicing Jew. I loved the religion I was brought up in. I didn't really appreciate it until I was older. And yeah, I mean, I still battle with it. I still battle with my spirituality and my religion daily. I think, it's a mark of a religious person to question it constantly and constantly ask questions, which I think has helped me a lot in my life because I don't rely on it, but it influences me through everything I do.
I think that's a great approach. I was raised Catholic, so I went to Catholic school. So I basically spent all my youth challenging everything that I was taught, everything, And then, but once you start living life and you start kind of like, resonating with things, for me, it was coming out to LA and kind of like learning about different things. Eastern religions, also Kabbalah. I don't know if you study, Kabbalah and the Jewish religion as well, and learning more about that, and it's kind of brought me back. I've always had an issue with religion, but I definitely am, a spiritual person. And I think that battle, most intellectual people that are spiritual as well have to have that conflict of like, okay, I don't know, should I take everything that, with a grain of salt, some things with a grain of salt? Should I pick and choose?
Yeah.
Interesting. So are you involved in certain, I saw in your bio, you're involved in certain organizations. Do you consider yourself an activist and on, what do you call an actorvist? Are you an actorvist?
I've never used that term.
Okay, don't. By the way, don't use that term.
Yeah, no, I don't think I will adopt that one. But I do what I can. Yes, something I greatly believe in, actually, since I lived in LA very briefly after graduating from college, and I mean the homeless problem in LA was something that really struck me.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart, and I would volunteer at a women's shelter in LA. And then when I moved back to New York, that's always been a big focus of mine, especially having friends in my lifetime who were homeless at different points, and
Wow.
never myself personally, but and it just always affected me. And so I volunteer a few times a month. I try to do it weekly at the shelter and the food bank that's a few blocks away from me in New York, the West Side Campaign Against Hunger. And that has been my grounding thing during COVID, has been working there once a week and giving back to the community and helping people who are struggling right now. And food insecurity is exploding and homelessness is exploding, and it's such a problem, and it could happen to anyone. So that's something that really, that gets me. And just the state of the world right now, it's like if you're not affected by it, you're not listening,
Yeah.
And so I think it's so much bigger than I am. And so the small platform I have, I try as much as I can to inform people and not be so biased, but try to just produce facts and be as helpful as I can,
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm inspired and motivated. As soon as we finish this podcast, I'm gonna go do something, volunteer somewhere. Homelessness is actually a big thing for me as well. I live in Hollywood, and I've seen the homelessness, in this city in LA grow. I go down to Skid Row a lot, and it's growing almost exponentially. And yeah, we definitely got to figure that out. Definitely a lot of mental illness has a lot to do with that. That's a lot of them end up in the street because they suffer mental illness and they don't have family, they don't have anybody really there. And they kind of fall through the cracks. So I hopefully we can figure that out. So what was last year like for you as an actor, as an actress, and as a person? Like, you were in New York the entire time, right? New York had a pretty rough time, April, May of last year. So what was last year like for you?
Last year was a roller coaster. I mean, I came back from shooting the show, which was the ultimate high of my life. And then I came back to New York. I had given up my tiny little apartment in Queens. I was originally living in Queens, and I had given it up while I was filming. And initially I had all these plans. I was like, you know what, when I'm done filming, I'm going to move into this great apartment. I'm going to be this, big TV star. And then COVID happened, and I moved into my mom's 1-bedroom apartment with both of our dogs. And it was the complete opposite of what I thought my life would be. And so I spent 2 months with my mom, which was great. It was nice time to just reconnect. So that was a plus side, but it was definitely not what I thought my life would be like. And then I moved back to the city in May. So just as kind of things were really getting crazy here. And I didn't leave my apartment for a while. I was terrified, and my mental state just plummeted. I was really down.
Were you able to work at all, or was work completely off?
Work was completely off the table for a while. I was able to shoot a movie in November. That was the earliest time I was able to do anything, and I was really lucky to have that. So I went to New Mexico, and I shot that while the election was happening. And but otherwise, yeah, I was just kind of holed up here with me and my dog, and the city was very quiet.
Yeah.
But then slowly things started popping back up, and it was so exciting, and it just made my mental state so much better, and my physical state so much better. I felt like a big potato for a while.
Are you sensitive to like the environment, people's energy? Like, you're very, yeah, I can see that.
Unfortunately, I am the most sensitive.
But that's beautiful. But that's what makes you a good actress. You're thoughtful and you feel. You need to feel. People that don't feel anything don't really make good, actresses.
It was the thing that my teachers were always like, in high school, I was the one that was crying all the time, running out of class, just a mess. And my teachers were like, you're going to have to get yourself together, because acting isn't a real profession. So you're going to have to like pull yourself together. And now I'm making a living off of it.
Stay sensitive. I'm going to stay sensitive. I'm going to let everything affect me, because I use it for my work, the work that you said I was never going to do. Mm-hmm. Ha ha. Nice. I like that. That's so cool. But do you think that last year gave you, maybe a layer of personal growth, or maybe toughness to a little more? Did you realize you were more resilient than you thought you were last year?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also realized that I need people. I need connection.
Do you isolate yourself sometimes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And last year was like, I am tough and I can do this, but I need people to help me. And I learned how to ask for help when I needed it last year, which was a great learning thing for me.
Do you also, because I'm kind of going through the same thing as extroverted as I might seem, I'm also antisocial. So that's like a weird combination. I'm extroverted when I'm around people, but like it takes a lot for me to get to be around people, because I can easily just like hang out by myself and read and write and all that stuff. I realized that, when you need to accept the help from other people, but then that comes with you dealing with other people. And someone like you and I myself as well, we get affected by people. So if someone's an asshole, man, God, I'm gonna leave that out. That might mess up my day, because I'll spend the whole day thinking about like, and then wanting to tell them, and then should I even? I'll leave it alone, but I don't leave it alone. It sticks with me, and so I've had to learn. Just last night, I was actually getting a bunch of good calls for some projects I'm working on, and these people wanted to talk to me about it. I didn't feel like talking, but I realized, I gotta pick up the phone. This is what I want. It comes with the territory that if they're gonna help me, I have to listen to them. And all their thoughts and all their opinions about my project, and just kind of like, whereas when I was younger, I might be combative, or I might not even pick up the phone and just be like, just greenlight my stuff. Why do we have to like exchange all this energy and talk? So that's cool. So you're going through the same thing where now I gotta accept people's energy back in my life. It will affect me, but I'm resilient, and it's not gonna, affect
Yeah,
me
you
too
learn
bad.
that you can deal with it, and you do what you can, and you can tune certain things out, and you take what you need and you leave other things, but you do need that connection. I get it.
Okay, I gotta guess your sign.
Go on.
Okay, so I'm gonna run through the like my thinking. There's what you do you know about Ayurveda? Have you ever heard of Ayurveda? Ayurveda is more the Hindu Vedic like health system, and so they say everyone's one of three doshas, which is kind of like the zodiac sign. Someone's either fire, um, air, and
Mm.
fire's Pitta, air's Vata, and earth and water are combined into one, and that's Vata. No, that's Kapha. So Kapha is more like earthy people. If you're like thin, like if you're a thin person and physically you're Vata, air, but you also might have some fire, but you're also very kind of like sensitive. So that's Kapha. That's the Ayurvedic stuff. Zodiac wise, gosh, you don't physically look to me like someone that would be a Cancer, but Cancers are usually very affected by energy. But I don't think that's you. You're not. Let's just go with what you're not. You're not a Cancer. Okay, good. And I hate telling people they're a Cancer. By the way, I hate that sign. Saying okay.
It
So
does feel weird. Yeah.
you're not an Aries like me.
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. And only an Aries does this little game that I'm doing right now. You're either a Libra or Scorpio.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, you're a Virgo. No, you're a Libra. Let's go back because I thought maybe that's
I'm
okay.
like, oh no.
No. Oh, you're a Sagittarius.
No. What is there? One left?
Okay, let's go back to Libra and Scorpio. Why were you like, oh, okay, maybe it's not one of those two, but you feel you resonate with one of those two?
Yes. There's one that we are not compatible, but I find similar when I'm around this sign.
Scorpios?
So Scorpios, I find, yeah.
Okay, so you're going through. You should do your. Listen, if you're into Kabbalah, I know. Let's call it mainstream Judaism doesn't really partake in the zodiac and all that stuff, but Kabbalah does, and a lot of old religions do. I used to thought this was the silliest stuff until I came to LA, and then I went to some like hippie party, and then my life has never been the same since. But all right, so you resonate with Scorpio. By the way, Scorpio is the sexiest sign, so I can see how people resonate with Scorpio, and I like it too, but.
I know for a fact I cannot work with Scorpios. I know that.
Oh my God. Okay. Can I just, between you and me and the people watching, and God, I hope that, we used to have more Scorpios on our team, and now we don't, and we're getting along way better.
It's such a weird, it's so true. There's something it's such a powerful energy. I find Scorpios to be quite like intoxicating,
right?
But dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
well, you know the whole parable of like the scorpion and the frog. You know that parable, right?
The scorpion and the frog.
And the frog, yeah. So the frog. This is all you need to know about Scorpios. This story. So a scorpion and a frog are. This is an ancient parable. I don't know where it comes from, Taoism, whatever. The scorpion and the frog are on the bank of a river, and the scorpion tells the frog, "Hey, can I jump on your back and swim across?" And take me to the other side of the river. And the frog's like, you're a scorpion. What if you sting my back? And the scorpion says, well, if I sting your back, you're going to drown and I'm going to drown. So why would I do that? And the frog goes, okay, that makes sense. Jump on my back. So the scorpion jumps on the frog's back and the frog starts swimming across the river. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the river, the scorpion stings the frog. And as the frog is dying and they're both going to drown, the frog says, why did you do that? Now we're both going to drown. And the scorpion says, because I'm a scorpion. It's what I do.
Yeah, I have heard that, but I just kind of wanted to hear you. Once you like started saying it, I was like, oh, I know where this is going. But you sound very good saying it, so I was like, oh, just go on. But yeah,
you're a Gemini. Damn, you're not a Taurus. You seem way too nice to be a Taurus. Oh, you're a.
No, I'm a Taurus.
Oh, you are a Taurus.
Yeah.
I never guessed Tauruses.
That is so funny.
But you're
the only one. You're like, there's no way.
But you seem so like okay. So to me, the two troublesome signs are Scorpio and Taurus. Taurus because they're stubborn. I work on a project with a Taurus, and it's just, and also because I'm a Ram, so it's like there's the four-legged animal signs. The four-legged animal signs are all crazy. The Ram, the Capricorn, the Bull, and the Leo. I don't know if there's another one.
What are you?
I'm an Aries.
You're an Aries, right?
Which is the first sign. And Aries all agree that Aries is the best sign. Now, people are like, wait, everybody thinks their sign is the best. Not really. Ask a Cancer, they think Cancer is the best. The qualities of Cancer are the best sign. They're going to be like, oh, gosh. Ask an Aries, hey, look, this is all the negative aspects of an Aries. And an Aries is be like, yeah, that sounds great. I'll take that. I'll take those negative aspects and the positive aspects, and we're the first sign, and we'll go, and we're the best. That's us. All right,
I love that you're openly like, yeah, that's what I'm like.
Yeah, no, totally. What was I gonna say? So you said you lived in LA for a little bit. Are you like, what was that like for you? I mean, I know that there's the New York versus LA thing. I used to think, being an East Coaster growing up in Miami, that I was gonna end up in New York, and I was a New York type of person. My career led me to come to LA, and now I feel I'm very much an LA person. What are the two city dynamics like for you?
I think it also depends on when you move somewhere, where you are in life. You know, I was just out of school. I was trying to be an actress. I had no money. I moved to LA. I was living with 4 roommates on a couch in someone's living room. And I was nannying and dog sitting and doing every possible. My application wouldn't go through at Buffalo Wild Wings. I could not get a job anywhere. So I found that really difficult, because trying to live in LA with no money is not the most fun. And I had no friends. I had just moved over from England. I was just on my own. And on top of that, I love going out on my own. I love going to eat on my own. I love going to bars on my own. That's my favorite thing to do. And so I would do that. I'd be sitting up at the bar and like having a little dinner, and then someone would come up to me and start talking to me. And the first question is, what do you do? Yeah. And then I say what I did. They would list off their credentials and who they know. And I was like, this is not the place for me, because I used to tell people that I did everything else but acting. Right. Say I was at school for science, for forensics, and I would say everything, because I never wanted to deal with the way that people look at actors. And LA, I felt like it was just all bad. Well, I remember one time I introduced myself to someone at a bar, and she asked me for my IMDb. And then that's a joke. I think, but it's basically, that's believable, right? That's believable. It's believable. Now that I mean, yes, I would probably be asked for my IMDb, maybe a little farther down, into the conversation, but it does happen. Yeah, LA is very superficial. The thing is this. Here's my thing with New York, and again, speaking as someone who thought I'm a New Yorker, because New York is raw and real, but sometimes New York is too real. Sometimes I need people to just like politely stay out of my way and just like be fake nice, so that I can just get to where I'm going, and not. What I remember one time I was going to New York early on in my career, early 20s. I was going up there to work for a publication up there, and I would go for like a week. And I remember, my first day having to go to an office and make my way through the city. And I get off of the train somewhere, Lincoln, whatever. And I go out to the guy, and I see this woman walking, she has a couple bags, and I go to the lady, excuse me, do you know which direction? Before I could get my question out, she goes, oh, go fuck yourself. And then she just kept walking. That was a bag lady. I realized that, now you realize. I'm laughing. I'm like, that's New York City. I definitely like that for a week at a time, but I like sitting in my car by myself. Okay, before I let you go, I have an idea for when you write your first memoir, because you're gonna write 2 in your life. Okay. You're gonna write the first one that deals with this part of your life, and then you're gonna have the one later on in your life. The first one is gonna be called Writing Solo with Ashley Reyes. Oh, I love it. You don't have to take the title, but just you like the whole solo thing. And and then always remember this, Ashley. Your last name means kings, not just one. Queens too, but queens would be reinas. So you're not Ashley Reyes, you're Ashley Reyes. So you're gonna just have to deal with the masculine pejorative, but it's multiple kings, which can't be bad. Going off to what I hope is a very unique interview that you've just done. One last thing about American Gods. Why do you think that the show's so like relevant now, as mystical and like out of this world as it is? Why is it something that you think anybody could watch and it's suitable for a really wide audience? Because the show is mostly about people owning their power, and that's all the show is about, really. At the essence of it, it's finding the humanity in people who would never get along to begin with, finding the humanity in each of them, and each of them finding their own power and their own voice and their their own ability to make a difference in the history of the world, which I think right now is incredibly relevant.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Listen, thanks a lot for your time. Say hi to your dog. Say hi to your mom. And come back out to LA when things get normal.
Oh my gosh, I would love to.
All right.
I would love to see LA.
Awesome. You can come visit us here at LATV. We can do an interview in person.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Ashley. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.